Okay, so today you are going to start drafting your essay. So I want to talk through some things. First of all, take a deep breath if you are not an essay writer. Everything is going to be fine. And I should say, everyone is an essay writer, but you just have to believe in yourself. Okay, there's my cheese for the day. All right, so here's the deal. I mentioned to you last week that this essay may ask you to think and frame your writing in a way that you haven't before. So I want you to give yourselves some grace. I understand that and will be understanding of that as I grade as well. Also know that you will have an opportunity to revise this essay if you do not like the grade you get. So just want to make sure that everyone knows it's going to be okay. So the first thing that you need to do is read through the options for the quotes here. And you are going to choose a quote to analyze and respond to in your essay. I want to point out these sentences up here. Last year we did a similar essay. It wasn't the same, but it was similar. And a lot of students didn't talk about or write about the Other Wes Moore at all. So while I understand how that could happen, I do want you to remember that you do need to be discussing the book as well as the implications of this quote on a larger scale. So I just want to point out that at least one of your paragraphs needs to discuss how this quote plays out in the book. You could choose to organize this in a different way as well. Maybe you're talking a little bit or writing a little bit about the Other Wes Moore in each paragraph. That would be fine too. I just don't want you to forget that at some point in this essay, you need to be discussing and writing about the book that we just spent weeks reading. The other body paragraphs or the other sentences or the bulk or the other parts of the essay, I should say, should explore the quotes relevant to today's society and cite research that proves or disproves or analyzes the quote's message in some way. So quickly, I'm going to take you down here because this will kind of come into play. One of your essay requirements is that at least one of your direct quotes is from an outside source. You need at least 2 quotes from the book and at least one from an outside source. So that's where that research component comes into play. For example, if you choose this quote here, I learned that the way governors projected the number of beds they'd need for prison facilities was by examining the reading scores of 3rd graders. Elected officials deduced that a strong percentage of kids reading below their grade level by 3rd grade would be needing a secure place to stay when they got older. Some of your research might center on the school to prison pipeline. If you don't know what that is, look it up. The flaws in the education system and how we can improve them, etc. So you'll see that with some of these quotes, I've kind of given some direction just in case you need some help. I also want to point out, though, that in my directions, I say this essay option might explore these things. So it doesn't have to be that, but just so you can kind of see at least a few examples of how you can take a quote from the story and analyze it and look at the bigger picture, all while tying it into the book. So that's that. I think one of the most difficult things about this, guys, is going to be the flow of the essay. So it's not, what I don't want are 3 body paragraphs that function completely separately. I want your body paragraphs to be tied into one another. And so therein lies one of the challenges that I pose to you in this essay. So now we get to requirements. Minimum of 1,000 words. Guys, people always freak out about this. I promise you, most of you are already writing 1,000 words in your essays. This is not anything crazy new. So just, again, take a deep breath. Also know, if you have 997 words, you'll be fine. What I want to avoid is a 500-word essay. We're past that. So let's go. And especially, guys, with the requirements of this, I can almost guarantee that the 1,000-word limit really isn't going to be that difficult. And if it does prove to be difficult, then you can ask me to help and we'll get through it together. We'll get into, MLA format and all that jazz when we edit and revise later in the week, but you will also be required to have an MLA Works Cited page, so just keep that in mind. We will also do a mini lesson over those later in the week if that's something that you struggle with. Keep that in mind. All right, essay timeline. Today you're going to choose your prompt and begin drafting the essay. You are turning something in today. It's called draft progress. Guys, this can look so different for everyone. Some people are going to want to draft their introduction. Like that's just the first thing they do in their writing process, and that's great. Give me your introduction. Some people might like to do like a thesis statement, and then they do their like topic sentence of each paragraph. That's great too. Show me that. Some people like to go and find their quotes immediately, the quotes that they need, the 2 direct quotes from the book and 1 from an outside source. That's a great option as well. So everyone's is going to look a little bit different. Maybe you do some sort of an outlining process before you begin. Turn that in. What I want is to see that you have chosen a prompt, or I guess a quote to analyze, and I want to see where you're starting and what you have so far, because I want to, and I don't mean this in a mean way, but I want to kind of catch you if the direction you're taking it in is maybe not really, if I don't feel that it's going to turn into an effective piece of writing. I want to tell you sooner rather than later, so that we can maybe change some things up before you get super deep into the writing process. So tomorrow and Wednesday, you'll keep drafting and drafting and drafting. If you are handwriting your draft, at some point you need to type it. On Thursday, we will work together to go over and create your Works Cited pages. So make sure you have your, wherever you're getting your outside source direct quote from, make sure you have that source ready on Thursday. And then on Friday, we'll talk through some editing and revising, and then I'll give you some time to go ahead and edit and revise before you turn in. So the final draft will be due Friday at midnight. Here's the deal. Remember that I'm still allowing work to be turned in a week late for no points off. So if you get behind, you have technically a week to finish it up. And remember that next week is Thanksgiving break, so you could work on it then. I don't really want you to have work to work on then. I would like you to actually just take a break. But if desperate times call for desperate measures, then that's what you can do. Those are the measures you can take. As always, guys, let me know if you have questions. Though I am not physically in the building today, I'm probably going to be doing some work at home. And so if you need to get a hold of me, just let me know. Thank you.